Well, hello, my friend. Dennis, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to my humble channel. I wanted to bring Dennis because we've been in touch and we've been going through similar situations. Just to give you a glimpse, as soon as the new year started, I got sick, and I know why. I mean, I had a really bad cold. I had a stressful situation like a couple of days beforehand. And as soon as that happened, my immune system went down and I got my cold. And on top of that, I already have, asthma. So it really kicked my butt. And while that was happening, Dennis was as well communicating with me. And unfortunately, she was as well not feeling well. And you had a stressful situation with, hence, you know, got your immune system down and you got a flu, right? Was it a flu?
COVID.
COVID. So, but it was complicated with bronchitis.
Yeah.
It's a flu.
Bronchitis, cold, flu, you
It
name
was,
it.
yeah, it was all
So,
respiratory. Yeah.
yeah, awful. Hi, hello everyone. So, are we speaking only in English or are we going to
We
speak
can do
Spanish?
Spanglish. No worries. I think this is, like I said, it was very organic. So we'll go with the flow. And it's just a video for us to come back. I mean, personally, for me to come back because I haven't done a video since 2023. But I know you have done a few short videos. But at least, I wanted to get together and do something, organic and catch up and leave with maybe a little understanding of what we went
Sí.
through, because here we
Yeah.
are, especially myself trying to keep in the heart. And I'll be honest, this took me back into the brain and a little analytical brain. And I started to really, just become, in fight, not a fight
Conflicted.
or flight, but more like protective defense mode.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when things just took off. But we'll like go back and forth in exchange to our
Our
experience, because
experience. Yes.
we're not 100% there. We're still human beings with these emotions that are going to come up, and it's like you said earlier on before the recording. You said these are tests so we know where we're at, and I do have to work on trying to keep my calm, especially when you feel that people are taking advantage of you. Especially in my case with my house, the general contractor, blah blah blah. You know, when you feel taken advantage of, you feel really bad.
Reactive.
So you want to
Yeah.
react and you want to defend
It's
yourself.
your defense mechanism.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Sí. Sí, sí,
So
sí, sí.
anything you want to share from your
Ricky, I love you. Hello, everyone. My name is Denis. I just would like to add here to this
Mhm,
informal video, homemade videos that we
mhm,
normally share with Vicky and Abigail, is that just the end of the year 2023 brought us a lot of challenges, a lot of situations where we really have to try it. Remember, all this experience where we are part of what we are dealing here with. We chose all this. We
mhm,
knew about all this. And one of the things that I have learned from what happened is just with the amount of stress that we deal with and with the situations that arise without out of the blue, how we are handling them.
mhm.
How are we reacting? Are we freaking out and go crazy around like without chickens without head? In my case, my baby Alejandro got the bacteria and got super sick, and we were trying to adopt another puppy, and it was an explosion that we were not expecting, and the situation came, and everything in 3 weeks was like totally chaos in this house. But not only our beloved pet and the other one, the other puppy had heartbroken, so we have to return him because he was missing his family.
That's sad.
But we learned how sensitive, how
Mhm,
fragile we are. And I'm not speaking about the human race only. I'm speaking all beings in general.
mhm.
How fragile we get caught in those moments where something attack us, and it's our 3D bodies because was like basically that, like an attack to anything invisible, because the viruses, the bacteria, blah blah blah, came to us, and then you say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't see this come, and you decompensate, so you start getting into that mode of what is happening here. So as you were saying, Vicky, instead to have the plan here and have a balance, we flew to our brain, and immediately you become in panic. And that alert start everywhere, because you need to keep right there. And in my case, running with the puppy, and he was hospitalized, and the other one has to go to ER too. And because of the whole situation, our immune system dropped down. And in the whole household, did you say in English, was sick. And it was with breathing issues. We were attacked in our throat chakra. Communication system. That is why the system will start shutting down. And you have the same situation, similar situation.
Yeah, well, I was, here I am, speaking of voicing out your true voice and all that. And I, to a certain extent, I did. And I think this is part of the, speaking out, your truth. I'm trying to look back and make sure that I was grounded. But obviously at a certain point, I lost my ground, because then I felt more on defense, So I have to look into that more and be more trustworthy of the process, and not feel that I'm going to be screwed, because that's how I felt. I felt this guy is going to, screw me up, and that's my second one. And this is my home. This is my family. This is a place where I live.
It's shelter.
This is my home. So, so I was very straightforward in my communication, and unfortunately I didn't get that back. So that's when I started to lose a little of my ground. So, but these are things that we're learning, like you said. It's
See, Vicky, right there, the attack was through your voice, because that was the way for you to make a point to the contractor and to tell, hey, you could do it by email or blah blah blah, but the intensity, he never but the intensity comes from your throat chakra. Because it's the way that we are expressing, and also your third eye, your crown chakra, your heart, all chakras are right in the fence, right there. All our 7 corporal chakras, because you are getting attacked, so your survival here, the 3 chakras here, you are, what is happening? But at the same time, many other things are happening in our bodies, and then your incredible communication is shut down, because that is the way. Well, that we know.
I'm just laughing because I would receive, finally I would get an email, and the email was just incorrect, and I feel my body just building up with this, I don't want to say anger, but frustration, and I had to literally calm myself down, because it wasn't going to help me. I was just going to be so emotionally charged that I was going to probably say things that weren't too nice,
Because we are always trying to do what is right, keeping that balance and being fair to everybody, but it's just like normal, because we are humans. We are trying to keep it in different level, because our vibrations, right? Because we are trying to ascend.
Absolutely.
But the reality that we are in is that we're still dealing with these individuals who are in a different state of mind, and probably they don't even want to wake up, and it's not their agenda.
Absolutely. You said the right thing there, that, you're trying to create an environment for yourself that you can thrive on these better feelings here. But it's hard to control when you're doing other things in your life, that you, like at work, or other places that you go to. You cannot really control people as how they're, manifesting themselves. But that's when you have to learn how to try your best not to let them get you wind up, because you can do all the work at your
Yes.
house, but when you go
Yes.
out there, it's another ball game.
So, Vicky, just think about this.
Mm,
We cannot change what they are thinking, their
no,
ways of doing
no,
things, the
and
ethics,
yeah,
the information, everybody out there. The only thing that we can take care is ourselves. How we behave, how we think, how we act or react. So if we allowed ourselves to go at that level they are,
yeah,
then we lose it
yeah.
right
So
there.
that's why I said I'm gonna fire him. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
him out of the picture, because obviously there's a dissonance between them and I. We're not on the
Mm-hmm.
same level,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have to now do the work myself and hire other people, and do
Yeah.
some DIY, what they call it, do it yourself projects, which I'm fine with. But
Yeah.
now it's going to be on my ground, my pace, you know,
Yeah.
and hopefully I will not hear from them anymore. But this is what we're dealing on a small scale, but we are
Yeah.
dealing with this on a bigger scale. This is what we're going through.
Just, but my question is what we are learning.
Hmm.
A chaos, an explosion, emotional, physical, in all aspects. But what are we learning? What was the lesson to learn 2023? 2023. So,
Yes.
what did we learn? Not only because the incidents that we went through,
Hmm.
but also in general. What was
Yeah.
the lesson? Not because I told you so, that's the lesson you have to learn. But
Hmm.
it's just like, how are we willing to see that expansion, that evolution, that moving forward? Because thanks to all those obstacles is
Yeah.
that we are who we really are. And now that we start this year, look at today. I don't even remember what day is today, but anyhow, it has been 2 weeks since January, right? So the beginning of the
Mhm.
year, and we didn't
Yeah.
even have the chance to say, "Hey, wonderful year," because this is the year, you know. But the
Yeah.
good news, what is the good news? The good news is what we have done to move forward after having all these experiences, Vicky. What did you do to come back to yourself and center yourself?
I had to make a realization that I had shifted to, the mind and the defense mode, and I am slowly coming back to my heart center, because that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because I was trying to remain in the heart center while this was going on,
Mm.
but I mean, this is my hypothetical view of it. Like I said, everything's vibration. So either they come together and vibrate and sink in with you, or they are not at that point where they can merge with you. So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
was trying. Looking back, that's what I think I was trying. I was trying to really establish a more cohesive communication with them, and but it was working only one way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I became a little bit more defensive, and I started to go, because I felt obviously not validated to as a customer, you know, even though I was trying my best to understand what they were going through, obstacles. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
certain point you have to take care of your house, your home, your family,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yes. Come back to
So
yourself.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's basically coming back to me myself. And I personally felt that I was voicing out more than I would have had in the past. Maybe, absolutely. I wouldn't have probably stood up to the men in the industry that are very tough and talk a lot, you know. I stood up many times to put my foot down, and
Absolutely.
I kept doing that constantly. And
Yeah.
I think I kind of learned at that point to stand my ground. But there was a point recently that I had to let it go, because it wasn't. getting, it wasn't cohesive from both ends. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a weight lifted from me because
Good.
I always had to wait to hear from them. They would never call me. I would have to constantly be asking what's going on. When are you coming to work? Are you, how are the permits? And so now I am in charge. So it's my responsibility.
So, and
Mhm.
when we stand up and we make decisions, and finally we come to the conclusion that something has to be done, you feel that you are in control.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that you have to start all over again and start finding more people. The important here is that we decide
Yeah.
that heavy weight for how long we are going to continue carry on. Or you say, you know what, I free myself from this and I don't allow anybody else to take control over me because I am a sovereign being and I'm powerful enough to know that this is just a lesson to learn. It's just an experience
Yeah.
that what I'm learning here for this, what I'm doing with myself. But you know what?
Yeah.
You have the consciousness, as you say, before I didn't, but now I was aware, or I am aware about the whole situation that of course is affecting us, my house and my family. But because based on that experience, because you are self-aware, then you say, you know what, I free myself and I know that, well, with the guy nothing was getting any progress. And now if I have to start all over, I am going to find the person who resonates with me and is going to do what I just need
So in
to be
order to
done.
do that, as you say, Dennis, now I have to center myself so I can be in a place
Tip.
where I can connect with someone
Yes.
that will be, and that's my focus right now, is to get and I want to
Yeah.
make sure that I am very clear that I do not have ill feelings towards people, even though
No.
this is
Oh,
something that I
no.
work, but so other people carry anger, when it comes to situations like that. And I would say humbly that in that case, I do not feel anger towards them. I was frustrated, but I don't have in my heart anger to carry because
Because
of what
at this,
happened.
yeah, but you know something, my darling? Because at this point in our life, our level of consciousnness is higher. And yeah, we don't have those feelings. So once in a while we may experience them,
It
but now we have
may,
consciousness. So we come with terms with those emotions, with consciousness. That's the beauty about
no,
what we are
it's wonderful.
doing.
It's wonderful
Yeah,
because you catch yourself, you can just say, "Oh my gosh, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated, but I'm not carrying anger."
exactly.
And I try to, in the mornings especially, I try to come back into gratefulness. Even I still become grateful to them.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm
Bravo.
saying? I have to be
See,
grateful, even though I was very upset. I was upset, frustrated. But I don't have the vessel anymore to carry that anger.
exactly.
Is what I'm saying. I've noticed that, and it's really empowering
Yeah,
that you can let those
you are.
emotions go and not carry them, and so you can make room for what you're trying to put in, which you work on a
Yes.
lot, which is love and
Yeah.
compassion.
Yeah.
So,
But see, what you just say is very powerful.
mhm.
And that is a good beginning of the year. Because the fact that we have that consciousness and we say, I just was hungry, but I don't have any negative feelings with these people. I'm just grateful. The same happened to us when we have to run to the hospital.
Mhm.
And all those situations, we know they are trying
Yeah.
to help our baby Alejandro, but when they discharged him, they shaved his button and it was too much, it was bleeding. So we have that feelings of we are so mad because he's suffering, blah blah blah. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, we knew that it was a procedure they have to do in order to check that everything was right.
Yeah.
Just the process of healing. Listen, people, listen. It can be painful, bleeding, and you feel that is the end of the world.
Yeah.
But it is not because through the days, 7 days without sleeping, I found that little by little the healing process was going on. I saw him suffering, and we have many tears for our baby because he's our child. But the process of healing, how beautiful. Listen, people, this is what we have to learn. And right here, right now, we are speaking about that. Through that baby and all that happened to him and the process of healing. Just picture that for you if you are going through something, anything that you are going through, include us, Vicky, you and I. That had to happen in order for him to get better and in order for him to heal. And then become the dry skin and the itchy. Because he's itchy. And then you have to find another solution to relieve him from that pain. Are you listening what I'm saying here? And once the whole situation goes through, then the relief comes and then you are free.
Yeah.
Because that is the lesson. That is the lesson. What are we learning? Your disappointment with the contractor and us here dealing with our baby. And then on the top of that, all those respiratory situations without having voice or anything. But it's like when we have that storm with the snowstorm, but beautiful. And we were ready to lose power and blah, blah, blah. But after it passed, everything was white, beautiful,
I saw that.
peaceful. You know, so look at all the examples. You went through your storm with the contractor. We went through the storm with baby Alejandro, with the respiratory illnesses, and the snow came, and then it passed. And now have been raining, and it's cleaning and cleansing everything. Right? So what we are learning here is all this have to happen in order for us to get the healing.
I'm like, when is it gonna stop?
It doesn't matter, Vicky.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
I know. It's just, you know, it
doesn't matter.
When you look back, you see the why. You know what I'm saying?
See.
You see the why. It's just that in the middle of it, like, you know, obviously, like you felt like being in bed and having fever and not being able to do anything. You can't really think straight. You can't, you know, you're not breathing.
But it was the time to do that, darling. It was the time to shut your system down and start you reconciliate with yourself. And listen, this is the beauty about this. Your team, your star family is there. And you think because you are not sitting to concentrate and meditate, they are not there. All the contrary, they always have been there. What is happening is we have to learn to perceive that presence and that frequency. And then if you are in that pain and you are all beat, you can feel it, the support, and you can sense it and you can hear it in my case that I have, you know? And then even though I was like that, I went outside in the snow to sense the energy of the planet, Anigalena. You know, and today I went out again for walking after, and it was raining, pouring. And I went to a different part of the forest and I found the most profound experience.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the trees were telling me that with all the compound of energy that comes when I call upon, all the region trees come together and they come here to me when I am asking for that protection and that love and that healing. And I was like, oh, so see what I mean?
Yeah.
All is together. All we are united. All we are together. And it's when you have that explosion of energy and love and you feel, wow, we still having this. Yes. Even though we are still sick and we are getting recuperated and blah, blah, blah. But they have been there all the time.
Yeah. Your situation was more stronger. I did actually at one point say to my galactic family, I said, "Can you please give me some help here?" But you know what happened? The next day I felt better. I said, the next day I started to feel better. I said,
Yes.
I know that, I'm aware that I'm learning and then I'm building. There's certain sayings like through my practice in Buddhism, they say that in order for a samurai sword to be the best, it has to go through harsh um, fire
Higher.
and
Mm-hmm.
and beating of the metal. So this is the pain and the suffering that one has to go through
Yeah.
in order for this sword, this powerful sword, to come to life. As well as a diamond, another metaphor. A diamond will not shine until it's cut to the precision with an immense pressure to it in order to shine the way it shines. So as a human being, we are as well going through that on that level. The
Yeah.
only way that you and I can make it and evolve is through pain and suffering.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yes, but
Oh, I
the
got this light.
perspective,
Look at this light on my face.
the sun is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just like it's the perspective, it's
Yeah.
how we sense it things in life, right? So it not necessarily means that everything is suffering and sorrow. On the
No.
contrary, if we transform those experiences
Yeah.
for something positive, as
Yeah.
I always say,
Mm-hmm.
neuroplasticity,
Mm-hmm.
things are going to start showing a different way to us, right? So why things are as they are right now? Because we need to go through that path right now, through that way, through that, in order to learn what is going on and what is going to happen, right? So there are things that we don't want to go through or we don't want to deal with, but at the end of the day, sooner or later, we have to face it. In one way
The
or
only
another,
way.
it's going to happen again, and you have to be right there, and you're going to say, I was trying to avoid this, but here it is again,
Yeah.
and I better face it right now, otherwise
Mm-hmm.
it's going to continue bothering me for the rest of my life. And right there is when you started speaking about that, oh, I call myself and I say, oh, my consciousness, what I'm doing, I stop feeling with my heart, and now everything is here in my brain. But that had to happen like that in order
Mm-hmm.
for this to have a meaning,
Yeah.
Vicky? The
Absolutely.
meaning of what we went through, and all those experiences that you are sharing and I'm sharing.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty here is that we are not alone, Vicky. You were right there for me. I was right there for
Mm-hmm.
you. We have been trying to be for others.
Yeah.
And right there, that's the perfect example of unity. That when we are united with a clean intention,
Mm-hmm.
things are possible. We may not be there right there all the time, but when the time comes, like today, this informal conversation, it was
Mm-hmm.
necessary conversation to have in order to express all those frustration, all those feelings bad, bringing also a solution, bringing a positive outcome from what we went through, you and I. And that is the beauty about this, the positive experience that we went through. That, okay, it was painful, but now what? Now what? Now what is that we really have the power to transform
Yeah.
our reality.
Absolutely.
We can do this, and we are the pioneers or protagonistas, how you say that in English? Star?
Protagonist.
Protagonist of our story.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you are dealing with right now, what are you learning? And move on and rewrite your story. If you want to perceive that something changed for good in your life, journaling. That someday you take those journals and you read it and you say, oh, look at how much I have changed. Incredible the evolution that I went through. But if you have that consciousness that you want to do it like that, But if you are watching this video today, this informal conversation, that is because it's for you. Something that we have been experiencing here and sharing with you is going to take that point in your mind, and you're going to say, wait a minute, yeah, she's right. Oh. Because things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason.
Absolutely. There's nothing is random. Nothing
Absolutely.
is random.
So, what do you learn?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we can both say that I don't want to speak on your behalf, obviously, but like I mentioned to you, it definitely, I was able to observe myself and say, oh my gosh, here's here's that side that I've been avoiding to not go into. But again, I didn't want to feel guilty or bad about it. It's a normal human back and forth. The question is not to be there for too long. Go there and try to come out as soon as possible out of that,
Yeah, but it is possible.
Even if you have to get certain situations and people out of your vicinity in a respectful way as possible,
Remember that we were speaking about selective, that we become selective?
Sorry.
So it's what we are doing.
Yeah.
We are becoming selective, and that is part of the plan, and that is part of what is happening. And the more people that resonate with us come to our life, everything starts changing, because all we are going in the same frequency or similar frequency. So that is going to create a harmony, and then we are going to start having those feelings and those positive emotions, even though we get tired, even though sometimes we don't want to do anything else, but it's just like things change, and it changed for good.
Yeah, but yes, it is all good. It's a process, absolutely a process. But this is like you said, it wasn't the expected beginning of 2024. Even though I had a very nice gathering that day. It was a very festive New Year for me, but the next day I was in bed. And hence here we are.
Because that was the purpose, Vicky. The purpose was to chatting us down, or whatever you say in English. Because our voice is powerful. Because our ways of communicating is powerful. Yeah. And that was the way to put us down and being more like inside of us without expressing what was happening. That is why I did those videos in English and in Spanish without voice, basically, because I want to stand up and I say, you know what? It doesn't matter. I am here, I'm present, and I'm not going to move. And the other reason why I share all those videos about nature is because our planet is powerful. And as she's moving forward, her energy is becoming more and more and more powerful. And what the best way to heal ourselves that with our beloved one, because her love is unconditional. And right there we are, like one. Go out there and I just like do and enjoy. It's just like every time that I put those videos, Vicky, it's just I want everybody to see what I'm seeing. I'm perceiving all those little details. People may say, well, it's grass. It's grass, just grass. It's grass. It's grass.
It's not just grass. It's not just a spoon, if you know what I mean.
It's just, it is just winter. And it's green here. It is winter. And the trees are glowing, and they are, you know what I mean? That is what absolutely. I mean when I share all that. I share my pictures, those beautiful flowers in the middle of the winter, those orbs. I don't know if you saw my orb. Oh my God, like a heart, the heart chakra through the tree, and the sun was coming.
That was beautiful.
Oh wow. And I have more videos to share, but it's just like that. Like, what are you doing? What is your perception about what is happening? All we should be enjoying right now our life. Even if we are working, whatever you are doing, enjoy every single second because
Connect,
this experience is
connect,
unique.
connect
Yeah.
with everything that we've been disconnected to.
See,
And it's
exactly.
basically nature and our beautiful beings that we call animals, but they're much more than that. Um,
Absolutely.
our Mother
Yeah,
Nature
absolutely.
that's right there underneath our feet that
Yeah.
we're meant. I thought about this yesterday because I was watching again the documentary called Grounding, reminding me of how important it is to get your feet on the floor without shoes, on the grass.
Yeah.
It's important for us to get out there and connect again. And we're meant to walk on this earth. What I mean,
Yeah.
we're meant to walk on
Yeah.
this earth without shoes, not with heels or Adidas or Nikes. We're meant to walk barefoot on this
And
earth.
right there is a connection. If for any reason you cannot do it, hug
Get a
a tree.
there's other options.
Yeah, it's just so many ways of
There's grounding
connect.
sheets. There's
Yeah. Oh
grounding
yeah.
sheets that you can
Yeah.
add to your
Yeah.
socket, the third grounding socket. There's sheets that you can put on your bed.
You know,
Yeah.
I get a lot of those questions, Vicky, now that you're mentioning that, because people have the tendency to think that the only way is just like, oh, but the weather, oh, but this, oh, but, oh,
Mhm.
oh, 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 oh. But I say, no. If you manifest, because we are so powerful, I can be in a tower, highest tower, and I'm going to grab the energy of the center of the planet and I'm going to bring it to me
Mhm.
because I'm manifesting that. If I'm so in my office, I'm on the third floor in the whole building from the 1865, and every time that I do my exercises, that's what I do. I go to the center of the planet and I bring that energy up, and that
Another
is
way,
how, and it's
you
just like,
yeah. I mean, you are energy. You are electrical. You're an
mm-hmm,
electrical human being. You have electricity running down and communicating.
yeah.
So you can do it at will, or you can voluntarily is already doing it. So
Yeah, I'm thinking when you think about something that happened right away. If I'm thinking right
yeah.
now that I'm in the center of the planet, I'm here. I'm
Hmm.
expressing it, but already immediately I'm there because it's how powerful we are.
Yeah.
But we have to believe how powerful we are because if we
Mhm.
continue doubt it, when are we going to discover or
Yeah.
rediscover or
Yeah.
remember who
Yeah.
we really are? You know?
Actually, it just popped into my mind something that Alex said, Alex Collier, which we've listened to and admire very much. It was very brief. He said, we have to learn how to honor ourselves, the honoring of us as a species, as a human being. To And when I say that, I envision us being in awe of who we are, in being like fascinated to being living in this beautiful, intelligent body. So that honoring is was something that really sparked something in me when he said that, because I
Absolutely.
think a lot of us, and I'm not saying you, but we don't honor ourselves enough, and kind of like bow down to who we really are as you know, as a being.
Because of the programming, Vicky,
Yep,
where they told us that we are losers, that we are
yep,
sinners, that our flesh and blah blah blah. And this have come from generations to generations,
yeah,
and people don't know because that is just, and it's beautiful what you are saying about Mr.
honoring.
Collier,
Yeah.
that we are well made.
I just had a beautiful vision right now that I wish to share, and it's to mirror yourself, to bring that image of yourself in front of you and do that honoring. And
Huh?
because I never honored myself that way, but for some reason, as we talked, that came to me, and I thought it would be a very powerful way of saying, look at yourself in the mirror and venerate yourself, honor yourself, bow down to yourself and give yourself that power back, you know.
Absolutely. You remind me that this is a model of therapy in mental health
Yeah.
that you put a mirror in front and the patient express what is feeling, and it's a way to reconciliate
Yeah.
to yourself and coming back to yourself.
Yeah.
And I have been speaking about the come back to your body. Instead
Yeah.
to be here all the time, come back to your body, reconcile with your body, and start enjoying the whole body as the whole, not only here, because that is what is happening today days with the electronics and everything
Yeah.
that is happening. We get distracted because the reason of this electronics creation was
A
to
disconnect.
bring us away, disconnect
Yeah.
us from what we really are. And the
Grabbing
truth
our soul.
is,
It's
yeah,
just great
see,
crazy. It just
yeah, then
grabs
we,
us and it just puts us, and I've been there and I have to bring myself back. Okay, I'm getting lost in the
yes,
technology. Let me bring
that
myself back
is
in there because
that
I lose
mhm,
myself.
because we are getting with that consciousness that we have been speaking from the beginning of this
Mhm.
conversation. But most of the people is still right there in the electronics, thinking that that is all, and they don't even realize that the day is over and they were all day in front of video games or social media or this and that,
Yeah.
and it's become
It's very,
addictive. Yeah,
and
yeah,
on another note, because I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I'm in the home care industry. I decided when I moved over here that that was something that was prevalent. So I decided to do that because I have experience with my father at one point. But even the older generation, you see them sitting down in front of the TV with their medications on the side. This is giving you a
yes,
visual. And
yes.
I'm there, to give them company, to comfort them, to assist them, to, this and that. But I see the same pattern. And I say it's not only the younger generation, but the generation that were introduced to the television. And I had I stopped watching TV for a long time. But when I sit and visit them, I I have to sometimes look away because I feel like it's literally pulling me in through the TV because I'm like, oh my gosh, the commercials, the fear mongering, chattered and the zombiness, like, I
Yeah,
hate to say it, but how they are so into it and they're so wrapped up.
programming.
Oh my gosh. And
Mm.
then you see exactly what's going on TV. You see that manifested in their lives. They have a walker, they have medicines, they have sugars, they have it was a crazy visual that I saw. And I'm like, if they only knew, you know, and I give them a little glimpse once in a while, but some of them are set in their ways and you can't.
I am too
Yeah.
old to change. That is the way that it is. I'm
Yeah.
going to die in front of the
Yeah.
TV, smoking and having all this
Oh
medication. I
my
have
gosh.
experience with that too. So it's just like it's a repetition and it's over and over, and it's just like it's a pattern, it's a programming. And as you are describing that population, that is the youngest doing the same thing, and
With, the
it's just
telephones and yeah, and the
yeah.
computers, you have the older people doing
Oh,
it with TV, yes.
yeah,
It
how
doesn't
cool. And
yeah.
when we try to educate them, I do
Mhm.
psychoeducation, it's like, what else? That's my hobby. My hobby is sitting for hours in my days off in front of the TV and play video games, and I don't have nothing else. And when I
Yeah.
say all the anxiety, social anxiety, go out, go for walks, blah 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 blah, it's like,
What are you
what are you
talking about?
talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
it's
weird.
okay
Yeah.
because that's your
It
experience, that's what you are supposed to be dealing with. The information is coming, but if you are not ready, you are not ready. The
Correct.
one who is
Yeah.
ready and is going to say, well, okay, what is she saying, let's pay attention.
Mhm.
Oh, probably. Oh, so but like that people that say, you know what, since I am doing what this exercise is blah 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 blah, my life has changed. And then you say,
Yeah.
bravo, this
Yeah.
one is listening.
Yeah. I mean, the best way is to lead by example. you know,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
you, and then they'll be curious. Oh, you don't do this, you don't smoke, you don't drink, or you don't, personally, I don't eat red meat,
Yeah.
so when they say that, oh, why you do that, then you have the opportunity to express to them why, but being at
Yeah.
work, you have to be limited, right? You have your limitations at work.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
say everything.
No, and you make the difference, but
Hmm. Yeah.
you have to do what the circumstances are allowing you to do,
Yeah.
but you can impact lives differently. Like
Right.
I was out of work for 3 weeks, like with coming and going and all this, and I went back to work, and we miss you smells, because my office is always smelling, and my sounds, and I just like, where were you all? We were worried, what happened? Because in one way or another you are
Yeah.
impacting that population that is coming
Correct.
and going, and the ones who
Yeah.
are always there start noticing that something changed, and where is she that
Mhm.
always is bringing all these different things but are
Yes.
very mellow and very good for us here. So see how we are doing something
Our
different, and we
part.
are
Everybody's doing a
impacting.
part. Yeah.
Yes,
That
yeah.
sometimes we feel we're not doing, but we are doing our part, in many ways, impactful and in small pockets here and there, But I'm glad we came and got together and expressed this because it was very important, to show that they're
Absolutely.
part of our, obviously we're human beings and we are doing our best to transition ourselves into a better place for those around us and for the world, and vice versa. We wish to get together with others that, you know, that can come
Yeah.
along with us and or with them and make it an impactful year, which I believe this is a very impactful year for many of us.
The year is going to be whatever that you
Hmm.
manifest for. If we
Hmm.
manifest a positive and beautiful year, that is going to happen.
Absolutely.
But if we are not ready for that, and just be prepared for what
Yeah.
is coming for you, reality. But the reality is what you make of,
And
right?
that's very super important what you said because, we have all these notions of what's going to happen, but at the end of the day is a collectiveness of where our focus is at the end of the day. So whatever we as individuals and collectively are focusing, and the majority, a higher percentage of it is going to influence what's going to happen as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and just what I would say is be mindful.
Yeah.
Mindful of living it right here, right now, today, this moment. Tomorrow we don't know, and yesterday is no longer here.
Yep.
So being mindful about your life, your space, what you are dealing with or living with.
Hmm.
And once we start going together and all we start getting into that mode, that is what is giving the power of unit of everybody else. You know,
Yeah.
all we are doing our part, all we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. That is the beauty about this opportunity.
Hmm.
Don't waste your time. Do something else. And do something else for your neighbor, for your family, for your friends. But the most important is do it for you.
Hmm.
Yeah?
Thank you, Dennis. Well, I'm glad that we joined forces today. And I
Yes, we
hope
got
to,
this.
we got it. We got this. And thank you for your support. I know that
Thank you.
I want you to come back to give us information about your heritage, which I did a little video on that and it was fascinating. So I would like to continue that with you so we can connect these dots because I feel that our native earthings are coming on back stronger than ever. And we have to honor them because they were the forefathers of our earth, right?
So we are indigenous, and we are
Yes.
proud of being indigenous. And
Hmm.
I'm a Chipcha Muisca from Bogota, Colombia, Cundinamarca, Latin America. And we are powerful, and all that history and all that story about the Native Americans and the natives of the planet
Everybody has
is
a native
true.
side. Yeah. So
Yes,
go into your
and
native side and you'll be,
connections.
yeah.
Connect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I will talk to you soon. I'll do a little video on another goodies as we go along for 2024. But thank you for listening and have a wonderful and take care of your sovereign self. Honor
All right.
yourself.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.